When I was 5, my mom passed away. That was a tragic moment in my life because I missed my mom. And my family was very weird at that time because they thought that maybe because I was young, I wouldn't understand what death was, but I knew. Um, and my dad was addicted to drugs and alcohol at the time as well. And he used to leave us home at the age of 5 and 2 while he was out hanging out with his friends and doing whatever he wanted to do. So at an early age, I had to grow up faster and learn how to do a lot of these things that parents do, which made me the strong person I am today. And when that happened, I had to take my little sister to school. I had to travel the city of New York by myself. I had to figure out how to do things around my neighborhood that I didn't know. And at this point, I had to figure out how to survive. So I ended up going to steal clothes from me and my sister and ended up getting caught. And in the process of getting caught, the police took me back to my dad's house where no parent was available. So we ended up being escorted back to the nearest precinct in Manhattan, which is the 26th precinct. And then they couldn't figure out who to call. I mean, we were 5 and 2. Who can we call? No one. So we went to foster care, and in the time of foster care, my aunt Carmen actually took us out, and we stayed with her for a couple of years, where she actually reunited us back with my older brother and sister. She was that mother figure that I always looked for because I never had a mom, so I always wanted that, and I finally got it. During the summertime when we was with her, we have gotten some news thing that we were going to move back with my dad, and at this part, it was a dream come true for me because I haven't lived with my dad for so long, and I knew of him, and I was returning back to the house where my mom raised us, my childhood friends, and pretty much my room that I love. So that was exciting for me. When I actually went back home, um, I was raised in a project that's called Grant Projects in Harlem, New York, and I was excited to be there. All my childhood friends were there, as I said before, and I got to hang out with them and do things that I never thought I was going to do. And I actually got into music because my dad had music in his life. I didn't even know that. My mom was a musician and my grandmother sang. So they passed down this trait to me, I would say. And I took it and ran with it and ended up going to LaGuardia High School for performing arts and music. There, I actually started doing music and dancing. I was singing, I was rapping a little bit, but I got offered a deal during my time there before school ended, and it was a Universal Records artist deal. So I took it and dropped out of high school. And at this point, I went all over recording music. I was writing music and rapping and singing, but I started to extend my skills at that once I dropped out of high school. And the music career was awesome for me until they decided they wanted to change me. They wanted to figure out if I can say that I was something I wasn't. They didn't want me to record the kind of music that I wanted to record, which is what I thought they signed me for, but apparently that was not the ideal issue there. The politics and everything within the music industry is not what a lot of people think it is. You can record as much music as you want, you can have the best image ever. But if you're not following what they tell you to do, and if you don't do what they want you to do, then obviously your music career is going to end at that point. And I was shelved for 2 years. So after I left the music industry, I actually started to model. And modeling for me was perfect. I thought it was the best job in the world. I had a couple of paid gigs that I did in New York City. I actually did some prints for Abercrombie and Fitch. I done did some modeling stuff just for runway shows for summer clothing in the state of New York, like the newest brands and trends that have come out. So modeling for me was good until I got to that one point where everything they wanted me to do, I had to pay for myself. Now, if I get hired to a company, why am I paying for my own stuff? So modeling ended there, and I started trying to act again. And I did acting a little bit in LaGuardia High School. It was never something major that I did. It was nothing that I wanted to pursue, I thought, until modeling went down, until music went down, and acting was the only thing I had. So I actually auditioned for Twilight in 2012 and was offered a part in the movie. It wasn't a major part in the movie, but it was a part where I would be featured and I had something to say. But that came to an end very fast as well, as they wanted me to move to California and I knew no one there. So I never moved to California. I ended up staying in New York. And then because of my parents and because of my family, oh, everything you want to do is not something that's going to be a legitimate job. It can end at any point in time. So I made my transition into the medical field. I became a surgical technician and started working in a dermatology office, removing skin cancers from patients. At this point, I thought that that was going to be the thing that I wanted to do for the rest of my life, because medical, to me, at one point, I did want to be a doctor and then I didn't want to be a doctor. So I figured out at the end that medical assisting, medical technician, and that stuff was not what I wanted to do. And what I actually wanted to do was create my own video games. So that's what brings me to where I am now. Full Sail University was a school that I always thought was just about music, because when I was in when I was in LaGuardia High School, music schools, colleges was Full Sail and Juilliard. But unfortunately, I didn't do that. So I actually stuck with becoming a game designer. So that's where I am now. This is my life, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. You know I'm coming soon.